Welcome to the Art of Relationship show. Greg welcomes live calls from listeners in helping with numerous marital and relationship problems. There will be no more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of couples' challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your relationship and your own life. Listen, laugh, and climax. Greg is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. To others, he's simply known as Detroit's Love Guru.
The Art of Relationship show is copywritten. No one is to use any portion of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Dazinski, or the Art of Relationships. Thank you.
Hey, welcome everybody. It is Tuesday after the big, summer ending holiday weekend, if you will, Labor Day weekend here in the U.S. Hopefully everybody enjoyed it, got to spend some time with your loved ones, some extra time, and you actually got to get more connected if you're going through a rough spot in your relationship or marriage. Also, for those people that unfortunately had to work, my condolences to you. You know what? Thanks for serving the people, your customers out there as well. And hopefully everybody is doing okay. And I'm going to be transitioning the show, the Art of Relationship show. I'm going to be doing an evening time slot, and I'll announce that. That will be coming up pretty soon. I don't have the specific date as of yet. I'm working with a few different options. But I will announce that as soon as I have that all set up, and we'll kick off a couple evening shows during the week instead of the noontime Eastern time, so we can get more people, more activity, more fun, and of course getting out there to help a lot more people and have a little more interactive people. We'll have the kids in bed and be able to have more time away from work and everything. So I'm looking forward to it. Going back to the evening hours, and it'll be a longer show, to probably an hour and a half show versus typical 20-minute half-hour show. So I have more extended time, which will be a lot of fun. Now, today goes out to not only, people in relationships, but this goes out to everybody, people that are single, people that struggle with this maybe on a daily basis, and that is stop being a doormat. If you are a people pleaser and you are looking at a situation where you have a hard time saying no to people, or you get disrespected by people, I want to try to help you stand up for yourself and be able to say no to people, okay? And a lot of people, my understanding and my insights, over the many years I've been doing this, and also in personal life, maybe when I was a people pleaser or doormat too, many years ago, looking at the obsessive need to be liked, to be agreed with that, liked, love, all that aspect. To have somebody not like you just sort of ripped your heart apart. You couldn't have that. So again, you had to agree with everybody. You had to say yes to everybody because you don't want to disappoint people and have them not like you, get mad at you, or, oh my God, think you're a jerk for saying no. And a lot of people out there that go from people pleasers, which I try to help, to get rid of the doormat phenomenon and look at what it takes for you to say no to people. Of course you can say yes, okay? But if your time is limited, if you are overwhelmed, if you are stressed, you have too much stuff going on, you know what? You have a right to say no and be okay with that and to like yourself. And that doesn't mean that you're a jerk. That doesn't mean you're selfish. That doesn't mean, that you're a rotten person, a mean person, not at all. That tells me, and it'll feel like you're going to start having self-respect for you, which I want you to have. There's a difference between having self-respect and self-love and then being selfish. So trying to stop you or help you from being a doormat, from being a people pleaser to everybody else out there is, different than being nice, to be helpful. I do this, believe me, I do this to help people, so I get it. I'm all about helping others. But it comes to a point where, like a friend or family member, if you're always doing for somebody else, but they're not doing back for you, it comes to a point where it's one-sided. why are you allowing that to happen? Any friendship, any relationship, it's a two-way street, people. Everybody hears this. Everybody knows this up here. But the people pleasers and the doormats, you know what? They don't feel it here. What gets them here on the heart aspect and in their soul is, you know what? You're selfish. You're mean. You're a jerk. You know what? You're a douchebag for not allowing somebody to get their way all the time, for not, you know what, standing up for yourself. And it's this, sort of polar opposite where, you know what, in your head that it's wrong, but the essence of who you are in your heart and your soul sort of counters that. And guess what happens? Your heart and your soul win over because you don't want to feel like a jerk. You don't want to disappoint anybody, and you don't want to be left out there maybe being alone. That could be another aspect, that people have this fear of being a doormat. Instead of sticking up for yourself and being able to look at, what do you like for yourself, and, to reward yourself for, acknowledging, what you want in a relationship, what you want out of life, and there's nothing wrong with that. Yes, life is a give and take, but it doesn't mean that you have to give all the time and give all the time and give all the time. And there's sometimes where you give give away, and you're doing stuff out of, let's face it, obligation. How many people do that? We all have that out of obligation. That's part of life. Hey, Tony, what's up, man? Are you a people pleaser? No, Tony, I don't take you as a people pleaser at all. But looking at the situation is, being a doormat is, you have a right to acknowledge what you want in a relationship and out of life. It could be a career aspiration. It could be whatever. And some people will always look at you, giving in. They will always look at you for, you're not going to stand your ground, and all I have to do is challenge you. I have to put up a little fuss, a temper tantrum, whatever, and I know I'm going to get my way because you're a people pleaser. Do you like yourself being a people pleaser? A lot of people don't, and I want you to start liking yourself, okay? I don't want you to hate yourself. I want you to be able to step up and to be able to say no and to acknowledge, this is what I want in a relationship. This is what I want in life. No, nothing is perfect, but you want someone that's going to be there and to acknowledge the importance of who you are, the importance of what you want out of life, and what your goals are, and what your identity is. That, that what you want matters, and it's not all about somebody else, and this cuts across, like I said, it's not just romantic relationships. This cuts across all realms of your life. It cuts across family relationships, friendships. What about working, your workplace environment? Maybe you're the one that never says no, but you want to because they're so overwhelmed, and all of a sudden you have a hard time getting your work done because you are taking on all these other roles because you don't want to say no, to disappoint people, to get people mad at you, right? And I tell people all the time, and this didn't come from me, a lot of people, said this many, many years ago, probably hundreds and hundreds of years ago. If you don't have somebody mad at you, you're doing something wrong with your life, okay? No one is going to agree with you 100%, and that's okay. Tony, you mentioned Karen and I helped a few people we thought friends over the years, and it never turned out positive. And I'm all about helping people. Hey, Christy, hey, welcome. I'm all about helping people, absolutely. But you give a point where if you're giving all the time and you're helping and helping, and you end up, being in this situation to where, they're not thinking of you. They're not thinking of their actions, their consequences, and how it how it affects you. Then I'm looking at, why are you dealing with those people? I get it, because you don't want to hurt them. They're in a time of need, whatever. And I'm all about, people need to be able to help themselves. I'm all about it. Even doing my role as a professional counselor, relationship sex specialist, I command that from my clients. I want you to be able to help yourself because I can't do all the work. And a lot of people, what happens with that are doormats, that are people pleasers. It's ironic when you start looking at their close friends, when you start looking at maybe your own relatives who come to you all the time, you need to look at who they are. Are these the people that always play the victim role with you? You know who I'm talking about, right? People out there, they play the victim role that, you know what, nothing's their fault. Woe is me, poor me, and you are to be their savior. You are the one that is supposed to make them feel better. You are the one that's supposed to rectify their life. You are the one that's supposed to take care of them. And if you command them doing something for themselves, right, they will get mad at you. They will start calling you names. And that's the very essence of what you don't want, right? Oh my God, somebody's mad at me. A friend of mine is mad at me. I can't have that. I can't. Oh my God, so I'm going to give in. And you're like, oh, you know what? No. You have a right to stand your ground and be respected by family, by friends, okay, even by coworkers. Look at the situation, and you can even tell your friends, you know what, you play the victim role a lot. Does that work for you? And oh my God, Greg, I can't say that. That means I'm being mean. That means I'm being a jerk. Not at all. And Tony, you mentioned, with your friends. Sadly, you stopped, because we felt like we're, being taken advantage of. And I agree, and there's nothing wrong with that. You have a right to sort of pick and choose how you want to be treated, okay? And people that are people pleasers and doormats, and believe me, it's ironic how many people that their friends are, I call them emotional, maybe even physical parasites to them, that they don't care about them. They don't care about, say, my clients or, even friends that are people pleasers and doormats. It's ironic how many people don't care about, them or how their actions affect them, but they keep doing for these people. It's always, do poor me. And then they start questioning, oh, you went out with other friends but you, how dare you? You didn't talk to me. I haven't talked to you in a few days. And they start playing this, blame game, and they start ripping you apart emotionally for their own purpose, for their own emotional safety, for, it's all about you making them feel better instead of looking at, hey, what are you going through? You know what? Are you busy? Good for you. I know you work a lot. Did you go out and have fun? That type of thing. And we can end up, it's ironic how many people I run into that they're a people pleaser or a doormat, and they end up with someone that has maybe narcissistic tendencies, or that is a very, control freak personality. So it's sort of ironic how this works, and it's ironic how, you end up with a doormat, a people pleaser, and they end up with the jerk. And this goes for both genders, okay? It goes for both genders. It's not, everyone assumes people pleasers are women. No, they're men too, okay? So it's looking at giving yourself permission to say no, giving yourself permission to express what you want out of life, and that someone is going to be there to help support you to go through that. That doesn't mean they're going to financially support you all over the place. They're going to emotionally support you to go after your dreams. Maybe if you have kids and you want to go back to school and you're a single mother, you know what? You got class, I got your back. You know what? I'm going to watch your kids for you. They're going to be there for you, and they're going to support you through your goals and what you want to go after, and be there emotionally. So, you know what? Give yourself permission for going after what you want. And it's not being selfish. You can still be giving, caring, and compassionate towards other people. I'm all for that. Matter of fact, I want that with the world around us, with other people, with all people. I would love that. I'm all about that. But now it's on your terms. It's not all about you feeling guilty, feeling like you're a bad person, a jerk, all this aspect because, you know what, you're going after something that's important to you. Stop it, okay? Stand your ground. That's another aspect, okay? I want you to reward yourself. It could be a treat. It could be frickin' a pat on the back that you give yourself, okay? You're like, that a boy, that a girl, that type of thing, for standing your ground when you're too busy, when you're overwhelmed, where, you know what, no, I'm not in the mood to, I'm sorry. You can say, you know what, no, I'm not in the mood for this. Some people always, I was going to say, I'm sorry, I can't, you know what, I'm just exhausted. You don't have to apologize for how you feel. I'm exhausted, I can't do that tonight. And they're going to call you, oh yeah, fine, you do this, and they'll throw the guilt trip on you. That's not a good friend. That means it's all about them. Good friends are going to say, you know what, you work your butt off. I get it. You're exhausted. You have a lot going on. You know what? Relax and enjoy. That's a good friend. You know what? And that goes a good friend, a good family member, a good partner. Like I said, this is not only in romantic relationships, it cuts across all relationships in your life, okay? Again, family relationships, friendships, co-workers, and of course romantic relationships, okay? So give yourself credit for going out and expressing, what you'd like, what you want in a relationship, out of life, career goals, a hobby, whatever it is, okay? And for standing your ground, like I just mentioned, and I gave an example of that, no, I can't do that tonight. Whatever it is, okay? You're not feeling well, you're exhausted. You don't need an excuse, okay? And to be able to self-soothe and give yourself credit for standing your ground. That's huge. That's important. A lot of people are going to try to shake you and knock you off your ground in your solid space to, get you to give them what they want. That's what they're used to. So when you go from a doormat and a people pleaser to try to get more healthy for yourself and strong, I tell people it sounds easy. It's not easy, okay? People are going to bash you. They're going to belittle you. They're going to ridicule you and call you names maybe for you sticking up for yourself. I'm warning you because I'm not being a jerk. I want you to be prepared, okay? So I tell people, be prepared for this, but able to stand your ground. You know what? Is this all about you all the time? No. You know what? I said no, and that's it, okay? I'm not going to feel guilty. You can even tell them, you're not going to manipulate me any further. You know what? You're not going to make me feel guilty or shameful for, I've been a good friend. I've been a good relative, whatever it is, partner, whatever, that you have a right to say no. So give yourself credit. Props on the back. Read your favorite book you wanted to read. Favorite TV show you've been wanting to see or a movie. Give yourself a reward and credit and go after it, okay? Now, how many people also, in this, I touched on this a little bit already in the workplace environment, right? How many people end up, taking on everybody else's jobs? You might befriend a coworker or two or whatever, or you have a bunch of bosses that dumps all this work on you because you're the dependable one, and they don't delegate to other employees as they should. And you're afraid to stick up because you don't want to disappoint the boss. You don't want to be, but you can say, I'm overwhelmed and I'm not the only one that is able to do this work and I have this stuff going on, okay? So you need to be able to say no, even to bosses, other, co-workers around you, to be able to say no and be able to stand up. That's one pet peeve of mine, where people are always about, you need to do this for me, do that for me, and they sit on their butt and do nothing, okay? That's a huge pet peeve of mine. You have a right to say no. You need to get off your booty and maybe do it yourself type of thing. And that's not being a jerk. Hey, Derek, thanks for stopping in, man. That's not being a jerk, okay? Now, another thing that I talk about is rewarding yourself for, not taking on everybody else's problems. How many people love this? And I mentioned this earlier, right? That you are in the people pleaser mode. You are that doormat, the essence of who you are, which the essence is changing now, right? Starting today, you are going to change from being a doormat, and you're going to stop being a people pleaser and start being stronger for you. You can still be compassionate and caring, I said this, and giving, but still set boundaries for you. But this is going on, taking on other people's problems, right? And this is ironic. How many people we run into that you're always doing stuff for the ex, okay? They're always looking for you to take on favors, to do all this. And I'm all about being nice and being flexible, especially if it's, the other parent to your child, okay? But it comes to a point, are they using you? Are they taking advantage of you? And you know what? That's your problem anymore. I'm no longer about this. You know what? We're no longer together, so you need to get somebody else to help you with that project or help you with this situation. You have a right to say no. And this not only comes with physical projects, say cutting the grass or helping them with a home improvement project or painting, whatever, okay? It goes to emotionally being there for them, okay? Why, you talk about your ex or friends that, they get themselves in a problem. Say they gambled their rent or mortgage payment away at the casino here in Metro Detroit, or sports betting, or whatever it is, or they went out and bought a bunch of shoes that they couldn't afford, and all of a sudden, you know what happens? They don't have money, and all of a sudden they're asking you for money. Once in a while you help out, I'm all that, but it seems like it's every month. You get where I'm going with this, people? That they emotionally, that their problems, all of a sudden you're going to bury them out all the time. You are going to save them all the time. You need to allow them to take the hit for them. Or, they're alcoholic and they're a partner. And, if you don't love me, you don't love me if you don't go out and buy me that fifth on the way home. You know what? Oh my God, I can't. You're my wife. You're my husband. You're supposed to buy me that fifth and, help me and all this stuff. You got a right to say no. So it cuts across all these realms about, being there and helping people for their problems, of course. But are you taking on and owning someone else's problems that shouldn't be your problem, okay? You can be there, help them get help, but then wash your hands away from it, okay? These people love to suck you in because it's what they're used to. So stop it, okay? You have a right to say no. In a big reward situation is you need to be able to say no. So give yourself props and credit for saying no, because by saying no and setting boundaries, it's going to open up a lot of yeses to you that you want to go after. And like I said, it could be a hobby, career. Maybe go after a healthy, better, whatever, pleasing relationship or marriage, whatever you want to go after. Saying no is going to open up a lot of yeses to you for the world in a healthier fashion, in a healthier manner that is for you. Hey, Tony, the funny thing in a work environment is the underachievers get most things they want and the overachievers get nothing. It makes you want to be inefficient in your job to gain success. You know what, Tony? A lot of people know this. I work for Chrysler, UAW union, and I met there's a lot of great people I worked with. Some, of course, not everybody, but a lot of people that I worked with that were good people. They worked their butts off, and some people they weren't. So that is a great, I can tell you, that is a great example that people do that, and it makes you want to. But it's about pride in yourself, and you can tell them no. You can do your job, but you know what? Always let them hang themselves. You can always say no to them. And if the job doesn't get done, your boss comes up to you, say, hey, man, I did my part. Here's my quota, whatever it is. I did my part. You need to talk to other people about what they didn't do. And, maybe, what, why are you harassing me? I love using that term and playing with people because it empowers you. But the doormats and people pleasers have a hard time doing this. And I want to help you stop and stick up for yourself. And and to be okay and to say, I'm doing my part. You need to talk to your other employees and see what they're doing. And this also, and Tony, after I worked for Chrysler for a long time, and I did both the counseling gig and all that for quite a few years before I left, but also teaching college classes too. I know, so I did a lot, but teaching college classes, this is the one thing that cracks me up. And a lot of teachers, college, even high school, they'll assign group projects, okay? I am not a big fan of it. In theory, I'm a big fan of it about group work and staying together. And if you can work on the group project in class, if there's time, that type of aspect. But if you have group projects and all of a sudden you have an instructor that is, let's face it, an idiot, that will assign the same grade to every student in that group, and there's one student in that group that is going to do majority of the work, and that's so not fair. And you have someone in the group that won't do any part of it, or they'll do it half-ass, or they'll just do a little bit saying, I did my part, and they really didn't do their share. And all of a sudden that person that didn't do their share is going to say get an A, like the other students have busted their tail. Hell no. I'm not for that at all. And I ran into this and, teaching college classes, and I would give my philosophy about this. The theory behind it, I'm all about that, okay? And there's ways to get around that, to assign, whatever person is doing the group project to look at the work that they are doing their work. There's ways to get around that in a school setting where it's graded on an individual basis. But too many teachers, they'll grade it, negatively or positively based on everyone doing the same amount of work and same quality of work. And that's not fair to the people that bust their butt. Same in the work environment, like you said. Same in the work environment, they might be working their butt off and they get the a bonus the same as someone that didn't do squat. That's not fair, and I'm all about fair and equality, but we all know that it isn't that way in the real world, right, Tony? But I want you to be able to look at what are you doing to start living your life. Stop being a doormat. Stop being a people pleaser. And like I said, give yourself credit for saying no. Give yourself credit and a reward for taking a stand, okay? For going after what you want and not taking on everybody else's problems, okay? You have a right to say no, and that still makes you a good, caring person. It's just those other people, you're going to command that from them as well. And if they don't like it, they're not going to like it. A lot of people won't like it because they're used to getting what they want. They are the ones being selfish, and they will manipulate and call you names. You know what? Stand your ground. Don't allow them to suck you into that and go back into being a doormat, okay? You might want to, separate yourself from those people and to get to more people that, have your back, and it's an equal give and take relationship, be it a workplace relationship, romantic relationship, of course, friendships, family relationships, okay? So, share the live videos on your timeline for a chance to win my book. There it is, The Relationship Guide, Tools to Ignite Love and Intimacy. Check out my website, theartofrelationships.org. And like I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, I am going to be going to an evening format. And I'll let you know I'm got to take care of a few situations, get down the schedule and everything cemented, and I will give you more feedback. But for now, you can listen to me daily, Monday through Friday, 12 noon Eastern time. And the evening show, I'm getting excited for it to get hopefully a lot more people calling in, a lot more interaction going, and I can help a lot more people. That's my purpose, okay? Helping you have the relationship you crave. Peace and love, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your